Okay, here we go. This is how I make a small aluminum painting panel. So the material is, it's like 1/8 of an inch thick, approximately 3 millimeters. At a small size like 10 by 10 that I'm making here, it doesn't actually need to be supported on the sides because that's so small. It doesn't really, there's no risk that it's gonna bend very much. But I'm doing it in this case because I want to put it inside of a frame, and it's nice to have at least like 1/2 of an inch or at least a centimeter of wood to screw into in the back of the frame. So whole process makes it a lot easier if you have a miter saw. I've built stuff kind of like this before without a miter saw, just a hand saw, and made it work, but that was a bit of a headache. That's what you do in a tiny apartment in Toronto. But it's really nice to have this kind of a work saw now. This stuff is 2-part epoxy. It's like bulletproof. It's my favorite thing since I discovered it. The best. What else? Good. Get that on there. Clamp it down. Good thing I sped up this part of the video because this took so long. I had these little tiny wood chips on the other side of the clamp, like on the facing side that's going to be the painting. It's good to have something there to distribute the pressure. It would have been probably quicker and easier just to have another piece of wood that's exactly the same size as the entire panel, and that way I didn't have to use these tiny little bits. 24 hours. It only takes 4 to 6 hours on the JB Weld package, that's what it says, to dry. But I give it 24 hours. You know, go do something else. Live your life. Have fun. Sanding. I got all sorts of different kind of sandpaper. 80 grit, 120, 2 something, 400, 600. Beyond that, it feels like paper. I like to cover the whole thing in gesso, just for that uniform thing. It's not really in risk of bending on the other side, but with wood panels, I always did that anyways, just to keep equal tension on both sides. And with wood over a long time, it's nice to have something on the other side to seal it. I know there's something in wood that leaks out over a long time. It starts with an L. I'll have to remember what that is. And I actually don't leave the aluminum exposed. There's been a couple times when people see that I paint on aluminum now, and they think that part of the painting is metal showing through, but it's all covered with totally opaque gesso. And after this part of the process, I also cover it with like a gray tone. So this is just the first part of it. And yeah, when I use a larger panel, like if I do anything bigger than 30 by 30 inches, I'll actually use aluminum square tubing. So the process is pretty similar, but this is a tiny one. Yeah.